Hello and welcome to Dad's Our Job podcast. This is Adam and I'm out in the sun waiting outside for my daughter to finish her dance class. But before I begin, I just want to point you to the direction of Claret and Booze. So Claret and Booze is run by Nick Killington and he is supporting the Brady and Sullivan Out campaign. Now, as a West Ham fan of this podcast, with two Arsenal fans, it would be wrong for me to not support this campaign. So the link to the petition is in the description below. Please sign it. Don't forget to put your email address in, verify that email address, because otherwise your signature will not count. Our channel doesn't really generate as many viewers or followers as I like, but it is what it is. We're very early in the stages, but we're going to try and help out as much as we can because the ownership of this club is terrible. It's getting worse and worse as each day goes on. We haven't really got any significant assets in terms of infrastructure wise. We don't own the stadium. We've probably got Rush Green, Shab Relief, but that's probably about it. But the state of the club that it's being left in at the moment, and the audacity to say that the club is worth £800 million if someone wants to buy it is an absolute farce. So we need to get the main reason for this problem that we're going through at the moment as a fan base. I think Brady and Sullivan initially have done an okay job. A lot of dispute about the move from the Upton Park. I mean, I was generally in favour of the London Stadium, but I wasn't sold the dream that we were led to believe for what it is now. I mean, for instance, if you go and do a London Stadium tour, there's no trophy cabinet for West Ham. I know it's laughable to say, oh yeah, we've got a massive trophy cabinet, but just one cabinet with 3 FA Cups, a European Cup Winners' Cup. No, not European Cup Winners' Cup. It is Cup Winners' Cup, isn't it? European Cup, Bobby Moore, and a Conference League Cup. They're all stuck in a vault in Hatton Garden. They should be on display to the fans, because how on earth are we going to generate more fan base, or the next generation of West Ham fans, if we can't even show off our successes? It's diabolical. The West Ham posters that are up on the walls, they're held up with blue tack. The flags that you see on the concourse for the media centre, they're all held up with cable ties around poles. This club cannot customise or make the home that they're renting a home. Sometimes you're allowed to put a lick of paint and do whatever's needed, and you know, the seats, yeah, they say West Ham United in there, but they get removed when it goes into athletics mode. Something needs to happen, something needs to change, and the only way things are going to change is if we get proactive owners at this club that can actually invest their money and get this club back to where it belongs. In my personal opinion, I think West Ham is a top 10 club every single season. And historically, we are, on average, a top 10 club, despite having 2 relegations in that period. We've got we're in the top 10 of the most appearances in the Premier League, and funny enough, we've probably got the most losses as well. But you know, you're going to have the most losses if you're going to be in the top flight league for a very, very long time. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Things need to change, and the final nail in the coffin for me was the sale of Kudus to Spurs. The sale of Kudus was going to happen anyway. It was inevitable. You could see that towards the end of the season before last. After his first season, you could tell he was twerking for a move. He wanted Arsenal, and I heard that Arsenal were very, very interested in him that summer. Even so, that even Harry Redknapp knew through his sources, because he'd done an interview with The Sun with Will from We Are West Ham, and he said he was surprised that Kudus didn't leave West Ham last summer. And to me, that was just glaring. And I think even in our podcast, I said that Kudus could go towards the end of transfer deadline day, and I would have been happy for him to go, even then. Last season, I think it was just one season too much. Couldn't cope with it. His performances did drop off. I think that is a lack of professionalism from Kudus. I don't care what anyone says. Is he a Judas? I think in the end, and especially with that announcement video on Thursday night, he's come across a bit of a bit muggy, a bit of a dig at the West Ham. Not so much the fans, mate, but maybe a bit of the fans, because we've been criticising him all last season. But it is the club in general, and the club in general, you refer back to the ownership again. You know, we're signing these talented players that decide to only play at 70% capacity, knowing that they're going to get played week in, week out because they're an asset to the squad. It just can't happen. It can't happen no more. I don't want these players. If someone comes in and says, oh, we're going to get Bayer Leverkusen's star midfielder for 40 million quid, and he's 22 years of age, and then next season he starts playing well, and then Liverpool come calling, Man United come calling, he's just going to use us as a platform. And I don't want players like that at the club. I don't want players like that at the club. I want players. I'll tell you what type of players I want. And I'm going to refer to Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho, in his spell at Porto, there's a fantastic documentary that you have to watch. You have to watch it. And how he got Porto back on the map. And the way he'd done it, they didn't have a lot of money. They had a little bit of cash, they could get some players in. They had some squad players there that weren't performing well. They got a turnover, they got an uplift. But what they'd done is they got players from the second division in Porto that were Porto through and through. They bled Porto before they even kicked a ball for them. Now, I'm not saying every player in England or wherever in the lower leagues they're gonna be West Ham fans, but when we signed Flynn Downs a couple of seasons ago, the year we won the Conference League, I thought that is exactly the type of signing we need. He's not a big name player. He's a pretty good Championship player, if I'm completely honest, and he was 22, 23 when we signed him. The fee was about 10 million quid, but he's a West Ham boy. He's a good player, that's a West Ham boy. And every time he played for that club, our club, he gave 110%. But what we got players that are playing 70%. And I don't like it. We need more Flynn Downses of these world. Questionable whether his quality at the end of it was enough for West Ham and what we needed. But I liked him. I think, maybe we cut him short too early. We sent him out on loan to Southampton after one season. I mean, again, how can he ever make a really true impression if he's binned off after one season and then sold on for a profit? So, again, was he a bad player if we were selling him for a profit of 8 million to Southampton for 20 million, and now he's back in the Championship? I think it's a big shame. I think it's a big shame for someone like Flynn Downs. But there's players out there that bleed this club. There's players out there that are playing at a level, and they're West Ham fans. People slag off Max Kilman, okay? People slag him off because he's too slow. People slag him off because his ball composure's this, that and the other. But we didn't sign him for £40 million for no reason. There is evidence there that he is a good player. And for probably 2 to 3 seasons, we have been keeping an interest in him. And it comes to light that he knows what this club's about. He knows what this club's about. But why? Because there's West Ham DNA in him. His old man lived literally in the area. His old man was a West Ham fan. So he's come to inherit that love for the club. So people slag off Max Kilman as much as they want, but I want Max Kilman in my squad because I know he's going to give 110% for this club. 110%. Jared Bowen, he's got no real affiliation. I mean, I know his old man had some little history with West Ham. I don't really know under Harry Redknapp. I'm not the right person to ask. Ask a West Ham historian on that. But Jared Bowen comes in and he adapted to this club. So they're the type of players we need. We need the players that go, right, we're going to play for this club. This is my club. This is, if I'm going to be successful, I want to be successful here. Don't want to use this club and go, right, okay, I'm going to build my portfolio with him and then go off to somewhere a bit bigger. Don't want players like that. I'm sorry. If that's the case, then Paquetá, as much as a good player he is, and if he's found innocent, which rumoured to be that he is, he's going to want to leave. Because he wants to win stuff. He's a winner. He's a serial winner. Alvarez. Again, I wasn't really too keen when we signed him in the first place. And there was a reason why Borussia Dortmund pulled out of the deal. And then we tend to swoop in. Same thing for Todibo. You know, Todibo was due to go somewhere. And we swooped in last minute, bang, got him on loan. Got an obligation to buy. And that's £40 million out of the transfer kitty for this season. Does he bleed West Ham, Todibo? I don't think he does. Again, I think he's going to play well and he'll end up going somewhere like Man United, because maybe the Jim Ratcliffe link. But I could see that happening. I could see Todibo leaving this summer. I could see Todibo leaving for a quick flip, going somewhere like Man United or Juventus, or you know, whoever's a big club that can offer him a bigger platform to play. Because I don't want players like that at the club. I want players. I'll tell you what type of team that I wanted in terms of the ethos. You go back to like Alan Pardew. Alan Pardew, when he come in, he although as much of these Crystal Palace links that he was, he come into this club and he knew what West Ham was about. And someone like Alan Pardew would be welcome in the backroom staff at the moment, because him and Noble together would be able to sell this club more to the players that want to come to this club. So Alan Pardew, I'll tell you what, you fancy a job at West Ham. If I was in charge of West Ham, I'd go, right, okay, you can have a job in the backroom staff supporting Noble and supporting the recruitment to get these right players in, to do a litmus test. That's my opinion. That's where I think West Ham's going wrong, recruitment wise. But again, any problem that occurs at this club goes to the very top. So Kudus, good luck to Spurs. I genuinely mean that. I've got friends that are Spurs fans. I don't have a hatred towards Spurs fans, because I've grown up with them for many years. I mean, one of them was my best man at my wedding, and one of the stories is that his old man used to dress me up in Spurs kits, and when my dad would walk in from work, he would be there and I'd be cheering with a Spurs shirt on when I was 2 years of age. I mean, who's to know at 2 years of age, right? But as you get older, you come to your senses. But same thing happened with my mate. When my mate was little, my dad would dress him up as in West Ham kits and do the same. So it's just banter. Like I've some of my closest friends have been Spurs fans. I just don't like them 2 days of the year. On that day, like but personally, yeah, I don't really have a massive issue. I love beating them. Who doesn't love beating Spurs? Who doesn't love going into work on that Monday after the weekend and going, "Do you watch the game at the weekend?" That's nice with any club, isn't it? I've done that to Arsenal fans quite a few times the past couple of seasons. I'll do it to Callum and Rob on this podcast. Make Declan Rice Paradise songs. I need to get life, I really do. But yeah, I think going back to Kudus, I think the way he left it was muggy, but I can't fault the guy. Why would you want to play for this club? If you're an outsider, why would you want to play for this club? That's why I think our recruitment strategy needs to be shifted towards a proper due diligence process and making sure that we get that extra 10% out of players, because at the moment we're not getting the full capacity out of this squad. I mean, you look at Nicholas Füllkrug, right? Nicholas Füllkrug, he gets it. He gets it. I'm not saying he's a West Ham fan, but he gets us. He gets the fans. He gets what's required. He doesn't just play for his pay packet. He doesn't just play for his family. He doesn't just play. He plays for us as well. And again, people slag off Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček gets us. He's probably one. I think he's one of the top. I think he's going to be approaching top 5 all-time Premier League goal scorers for this club. People don't like him though because he don't run. I think all he does is run. People don't like him because his ball distribution isn't great. Debatable, but he gets it. You know, and even when they referred, when Moisey went up to him and said, I need a right back. Do you know any right backs that could play well? Suchek went, I know just the guy. Bought in Vladimir Sufal, £5 million. Probably one of the best right backs to play for this club in the Premier League. He's the type of guy that lived in a flat, local in the area, would get a bus to training, would go around do tours of Upton Park, would go and have photos with fan murals, go to where Upton Park was and see the area. That's a player that we should have kept this season. I know he wants to play more football, but that's a player we should have kept, because the next crop that's going to come through, the next signing that's going to come through, they need educating. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I mean, I know I'm going on a bit of a rant here, but I'm just speaking. I'm speaking off the cuff. I'm saying it how it is. So when I hear that West Ham are linked with loan moves for Douglas Luiz, no thank you. No thank you. Because again, he's just going to use the club as a platform. I know there's some debate there saying, well, if he comes to us and plays well, then West Ham benefit from it. But there's no guarantee in that. There's no guarantee in that. We got Carlos Soleri. That didn't work, did it? I love Carlos Soleri. I think he's been a fantastic player. Again, I think he is a fantastic player. Only because of the Valencian friends that I know that speak volumes of him. And they loved him to bits, and they were gutted when he left for PSG on a free. But again, it just don't work, does it? Like, again, you come to us and you're probably thinking, oh, if I play well, I might get a bigger move, and I don't know. It's just I'm going off on one here, but that's my general thoughts. For West Ham to be successful and to rekindle the West Ham way, you need players that live, breathe, and die for this football club, whether they're born into it or whether they're adopted into it. So Max Kilman, Jared Bowen, Thomas Suchek, Nicholas Füllkrug, and then you've got your youngsters like Scarles, Orford, Earthy, Potts. Freddie Potts is a player that we need to build around next season. He gets it. His brother played for West Ham. His dad is a West Ham legend. His dad coaches at the academy level. He's the next Mr. West Ham for me. The next Mr. West Ham. Mark Noble is there. He's doing his job in the recruitment. And I think, youth-wise, I think he's doing a very good job. He's got in Josh Landers, he's got in Cummings, he's got in Kante. But in terms of senior level players, I probably wouldn't let him. It's good to get his opinion on it, but wouldn't let him take charge, because at the end of the day, Kudus and Alvarez were his picks, and I don't think we've really got the maximum out of it. But yeah, that's my thoughts. Please like and subscribe, drop your comments below, tell me what you think, and we'll be back on Thursday for a live stream with Callum and Rob. And like I say, it's a live stream, so just come on, just chat away. Get involved, ask a question for us. We talk West Ham, we talk Arsenal, and we talk for an hour and a half, maybe a bit longer. Even had my old man on Thursday, and he had a couple of jars down the old people's club. He's 60, so he's an old person. What can I say? But yeah, that's the type of format we are. We're just dads. We're waiting outside, waiting for our daughters to enjoy themselves in dance classes or drama classes, and that's what we are. This is what dads, our job is. We're dads first, football fans second, and this is what we are. We're dads, our job. The original footballing podcast for dads, by dads. See, I got that motto right. Anyway, have a wonderful weekend. Speak to you soon, and come on, you Irons and Gooners.
I only wanted Spurs. Play the truck.
I only wanted fruit shoot. Oh.